We are facing the biggest crisis of our lifetimes. Donald Trump is trying to fundamentally change the world economy, the trading system. But really what he's trying to do to Canada, he's trying to break us so the U.S. can own us. They want our land, they want our resources, they want our water, they want our country. And we're all going to stand up against Donald Trump. I'm ready. I've managed crises over the years. I've built strong economies. We will fight back with counter tariffs. We will protect our workers and those businesses, and we will build the strongest economy. We will build Canada strong. I'm asking for your support, the honor of doing so.
Anti-American feelings are riding really high since Trump took office and started throwing his weight around, wanting to invade Canada.
Poll from Rebel Media suggested just 10% of Albertans would vote to join the United States in a referendum.
We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table.
Tariffs. Do you like the tariffs?
I think they're terrible.
Why?
What? They're just idiotic.
Are you guys going to boo the anthem tonight?
No, I'm not going to boo the anthem. I don't believe in booing the anthem. No. I think the world right now is just so polarized, and everybody is so biased. I think, heavily influenced by social media, and I don't think we should be thinking that way. I think we got to think broadly. I think most people want to work together. Most people are reasonable. I work with people in the United States all the time. So there's this one kind of demagogue at the top there that's creating this, but in most cases people are reasonable. So
you don't want to become the 51st state?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Canada's a sovereign state for sure. No, absolutely.
Yeah. What are the main differences between America and Canada?
I think Americans are very siloed. They think that the world surrounds them. Most of them don't even leave their state. Influence from movies and entertainment and so on. They think that U.S. is just the epitome of everything, and it's not.
So they're a bit ignorant.
They're totally ignorant.
Do you think that Canada should be the 51st state?
Absolutely not. No.
Why not?
Because we're a sovereign country. Come on, we're Canada. We're our own place.
Are you going to boo the American national anthem tonight?
No, I'm not.
No.
No.
What do you guys think about the tariffs?
I work in procurement, so it's difficult for our industry. Yeah.
Trump says he wants Canada to be the 51st state. Do you want to be the 51st state?
No, and I don't think Trump even knows what a tariff is, so.
Are you going to boo the anthem tonight?
No, I'm not going to boo anyone's anthem.
And finally, what's the main difference between Canada and America?
We wouldn't tell them we're going to take them over because we don't understand stuff.
You're an American citizen and a Trump supporter.
Yes, sir.
But you live in Canada.
Yes, because I married her. And yeah, I immigrated up here because I fell in love with the Canadian. I love America to death. I got tattoos of the flag. I love America.
And you got the flag here.
Yeah. And I love Canada because my wife is Canadian.
And then what happened to you because you had the flag up?
We got a rock thrown through the window. Our car's vandalized, and also before that, we've had beer cans. It was all because of tariffs. As soon as the tariffs thing came up, that's when it really started.
I thought Canadians meant to be polite.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought.
Tell us about the app that you've created.
OS Canada. It's kind of a Buy Canadian app. Two main features. You can scan products. You can search them via text as well. It essentially takes that product information and then we use artificial intelligence to search the internet and get details for consumers so they're more aware of what they're buying.
Got your app, Ryan.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Can you show us how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two options here. One is the text search. So you can just put in any name of a brand here. I'll just go, for example, show Coke, and it gives us a few details. So we can see there's Coca-Cola Canada Bottling Limited, which actually is fairly Canadian. We can see those check marks are just, good, essentially. Another option here that we can do is just the scan. So if you just take a given product, same function, it'll just load. And we can see there, giving us some details about no name.
So we noticed a sign outside of your store that said this is tariff-free.
Yes.
What do you think about the tariffs that Trump is potentially imposing on Canada?
I thought Canada and the U.S. were neighbors, part of the family. And with tariffs, it seems to be breaking apart the relationship that we have.
So your cooking oil is made in Canada?
Grown, made, everything.
With your customers, do you notice them wanting to buy more Canadian goods rather than American goods, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to sign up front and say Canadian produced and made seems to bring people in.
What about this idea that Canada could become the 51st state? That's what Trump keeps saying.
Good luck. No way. Never. They got a dictator right now. And we have a cooperative system in Canada. We get 2, 3 parties, 4 parties, and we cooperate. And the last thing we are is aggressives. If anything, we're peacekeepers.
Yeah.
So how have the tariffs impacted you so far?
Right now, honestly, with all the pubs, different kind of liquor's not coming in. You have your Jack Daniels, you have a couple other bourbons. So yeah, there's going to be some problems with liquor, but overall, it doesn't really hurt because a lot of the people that are coming in now are asking what's Canadian. So they're going towards the Canadian.
So do you feel that people would rather buy Canadian liquor now rather than American?
At the moment, yes, unless you're a major bourbon drinker that or your alcohol that you love the most. But yeah, in general, 90% of the people that walk in are asking what's Canadian.
Trump says that he wants Canada to become the 51st state. And I know that some people in Alberta want Alberta to be the 51st state.
Sure.
What do you think?
I think that America would make a great province. I think that it could be our 11th province. I think they'd be phenomenal. You know, you got your pluses and minuses for both. We have our sovereignty. We're Canadians. We're very proud to be Canadian. And instead of being a state, let's just be best friends again and open up the trade. And honestly, it's an imaginary border. You know, that line that we just created really means nothing. So, you know, keep our sovereignty. They can keep their prideness, and we can shake hands and be best friends.
So the tariffs, they're not impacting you because you don't import from the States?
Correct,
yeah.
Correct. However, the impact that we get, because we belong to this society, we live in the Canadian society, and the tariffs are turning a lot of people upside down, inside out. It's a mess. One day he's putting a tariff, next day he's eliminating it, delaying it. He's just playing a fear-mongering game, I think. And I think the Canadian society is much more sophisticated and open-minded, and it's a society that's not so violent. So we don't carry guns and go shoot people. We talk with them.
I'm guessing from your answer, you don't want to become the 51st state of America.
Absolutely not. No. Canada is an independent country, and we like it as it is. We're happy to be a part of Canada and be Canadian, and I stand for that.
Particularly in the Prairie West, the attitudes, say between Alberta and Montana, or Saskatchewan and North Dakota, there's not a heck of a lot to choose between them. The historical experiences have been very similar. The farmers in Montana, ranchers in Montana, have historically distrusted the railroads in the same way that Canadian ranchers and farmers have. They've always thought of Washington as a slightly malevolent source of rule, much in the same way that Albertans and Saskatchewans have thought about Ottawa. So that kind of what you might call east-west cultural divide is it's equivalent, I think, on both sides of the 49th parallel.
Trump is demanding that Canada becomes the 51st state. Is there any Canadians who support this?
Well, there's definitely people who would support joining. It's certainly in the minority right now. A lot of people who want independence. The idea of joining America has just never been a major topic of discussion here. Until 6 months ago, anyone who would talk about making Alberta a state of the United States, even your drunk uncle wouldn't talk about that. It was just not even up for discussion. Trump has changed that. It is a topic of discussion now.
Do you see a path
to Alberta becoming the 51st state?
Where I do think it is possible that there could become a major secessionist movement to join the United States is under a fairly specific set of circumstances. The first would be that Mark Carney and the Liberal Party would need to retain power in the federal election we're entering right now. And the Liberals were to use, say, put an export tax on Alberta oil, using us as a pawn, our major industry as a pawn, to support Eastern manufacturing, which is being hurt in the trade war. And then, if Trump were to then make an offer, make a good offer, one-for-one currency exchange, debt absorption, the right to build pipelines anywhere we want to go. If the federal government became the very clear and present enemy more than Donald Trump, I could see it becoming a real possibility at that time.
I've lived on this land for over 30 years, I think. So these are all cow horses. That's a good cutting horse right there. That's a racehorse mare. That's a cow horse. I'm a fifth generation Albertan on my mom's side.
Yeah.
So I'll show you this.
Do you support Albertan independence?
We have to get out of Canada. Right now, there's over $60 billion a year that leave Alberta in federal taxes, of which only $30 billion come back, allegedly in the form of federal services. Extra money staying in Alberta, the day we declared independence, we'd have the highest GDP per capita of any country in the world, with the lowest tax rates.
Should Alberta become the 51st state?
Well, just to be clear, the movement that I'm involved with, we're not 51st state advocates. We're not, even necessarily advocating, a territorial union with the United States. The first step for us is independence. Vote us out of Canada. Set up, an independent country called the Commonwealth of Alberta, right? And get all the systems in place that we're going to need to move forward, including, collecting our own taxes, managing our own affairs, and then at that point, we can look at a stronger union with the United States, either in the form of territoriality or full statehood.
We've heard a lot of Albertans and Canadians criticizing President Trump. What's your message to the president?
Well, my message to President Trump is that it's really unfortunate that because of a lot of the COVID brainwashing that went on in this country, that the Trump derangement syndrome in Canada is unfortunately quite high. We don't have an issue at all with President Trump, and as a Canadian, I have no issue whatsoever, as an Albertan, I have no issue saying that President Trump is largely right on most issues. I mean, how can you argue with the fact that Trudeau and previous Canadian governments completely undermine Canadian sovereignty by underfunding our NATO commitment? To quote Niccolo Machiavelli in The Prince, the Florentines were easily conquered because they'd become weak and effeminate from long peace. And effectively, that's the position that successive governments have put Canada into.
A recent poll from Rebel Media suggested just 10% of Albertans would vote to join the United States in a referendum.
I don't think that we feel, I think that we know that we are better than Americans, especially in entertainment. That is Canada's greatest export to the United States, specifically comedy. The greatest comedians and funny people of all time have always been Canadian. You got Jim Carrey, John Candy, Rick Moranis. The list goes on, it's endless. Leslie Nielsen. I absolutely would support becoming the 51st state. There's a tremendous amount of people that want this, and it's not because they're traitors, which is the new buzzword that is going to get thrown around. It is because they want to reclaim their identity. And this is the only way of doing it, is becoming the 51st state. And Canada is so vast, nothing will change if it does come to fruition. We will always be who we are. This is Alberta, and we are the rebel state of Canada. Always have been, always will be. We are the economic engine of this country, and that doesn't go away because somebody else is in power. And just because Donald's in power right now doesn't mean that down the road we're not going to have a President AOC either. So this is not like some haphazard thing. This is a major thing that'll affect us for the rest of our time.